Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about taking an older Mac machines and putting new life into them. Right now you're looking at a screen of an older MacBook Pro. It's actually a mid 2012 model. And right now it's currently running the last supported operating system on it, which is High Sierra 10.13. Okay. So hardware-wise, this machine is quite capable. I'm going to go here to the Apple menu and go to About This Mac. And we can see that it has an i7 processor. It's got 8 gigs of RAM. Over in the storage area, this is actually something that I did after the fact, which I will show a little bit later. I went ahead and upgraded the standard drive in the machine to a solid-state drive. So hardware-wise, this machine is certainly capable of running the newer versions of the Apple software. However, Apple will stop supporting any more updates beyond what's on this machine currently, which is again 10.13, and that's about 6 versions back from the most current version being Sonoma. So issues, of course, with that is you're not getting security updates. The browsers may not act properly. At some point, browsers may not even work at all. Basically, the software is just not capable of keeping up because it just doesn't have all the new things that it needs. So anyway, given all that, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get access to this open source software that will allow you to download a custom installer that will run for a later version of macOS on this machine, on this older hardware. I'm going to start by opening Chrome. I find that for whatever reason, it seems to work better when you're trying to actually download the program that you need here. The name of what we're looking for is Open Core Legacy Patcher. I'm going to click on that. And this is an open source project that a bunch of people are involved in and have done an outstanding job, in my opinion, trying to help people, in situations where they have an older machine and they still want to continue to use it. And they've done all the background workings of getting newer macOS software to work. So I'm going to click on Getting Started. And they do a good job here of kind of stepping you through what to do to kind of get this going. The first step is to kind of check to see if your model is supported. So what we can do here, again, we can go back to the Apple menu, go to About This Mac, and now this machine, I'm not sure why, but sometimes these machines are like this. Usually it'll tell you the exact model here in this, where it says MacBook Pro, but I'm not seeing that. So better to click on the system report anyway. That's going to give you a lot more detail. The key thing being it's going to give you the model identifier. That's that second line there, and it's saying MacBook Pro 9,2. So let's keep that in the back of our minds there. Let me close this one up. So now if I go back and click on supported models, I could probably even do a search, but anyway, you can see these are all the different, this is broken down by the different types of Macs. So I'm going to click on MacBook Pro, and now I can see the model units here, right? Model identifier. So I can see there that, MacBook Pro 9.2 is supported. I think they support pretty much everything. I'm not aware of anything that I haven't come across anything yet. But of course, this is kind of a due diligence step. You want to kind of make sure. So we're going to go back. So the next step here, now that you know that it's supported, is you need to download the software to build the installer. Then we get to this screen, and you basically click on the link here that says Open Core Legacy Patcher Apps. They're constantly releasing updates to these to this software. So I'm going to go ahead and use the latest one, which is that one. And with the way these open source things work, typically the actual download stuff is at the bottom of the page under Assets. And you can see here that I can see what's here. So basically you want to get this, the GUI app.zip is the one you want. So I'll click on that. And now it's actually starting to. Okay, so now that it's been downloaded, I can go ahead and let me go to the folder. And I'm going to go ahead. I actually downloaded it once before, but either way, I have to double click it because it's compressed to unzip it. And now I can see I have the actual application here. So I might at this point probably make sense. I'm going to go ahead and drag that into my applications folder so I have it there for future reference. Okay. And so now I'm going to go ahead and double click it to start it. Now while this is opening, what you're going to need to do here is you're going to be creating, like I said, a custom installer that's going to run on your machine, and that installer needs to go on some external device or external media. In this case, we're going to be using an external USB stick, and it needs to be at least 16 gigs. So let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and plug that into my machine. Okay, so I've done that, and so what I want to do here is I want to go ahead and create the installer. So I have a couple of options here. I'm going to go ahead, anyway, I'm going to download the installer that I want. Okay, and this will just take a moment. Okay, so now, by the way, that took a few minutes, but of course I compressed the time so you wouldn't have to wait. But just keep that in mind when you're actually doing this, that it might take a little bit of time for it to load. Okay, so now I can see here that I have some options here to download, and it's showing me the most current versions. I'm going to go ahead and go with Ventura only because Sonoma just came out, and even though they claim they support it, we don't need to go to the very latest one. We just want to go to one that's current and supported. And the way Apple works is they're going to support the most current version and 2 versions back. So potentially I could even have used Monterey and it would have been fine. But anyway, let's go ahead and we'll do Ventura, and I'm going to click download. Okay, so now it's going to download that installer for me. Again, it's going to take a few minutes, so hang on and we'll be back. Okay, we're back. It went ahead and downloaded it and also verified it. Just so you know, that probably took, it could have taken about 10 or 15 minutes. Anyway, now it's just asking me to authorize extracting the installer, which I'm going to do. And let me go ahead and minimize. Actually, let me just get out of Chrome here. Okay, so now it's going through that process. Okay, I'm back. So now once that process completed, it pops up this window asking me if I want to create the installer, which I want to do. I'm going to click yes. Okay, and it's saying, is that what I want to install? And that's right. Okay, now it's asking me for which disk I want to use. So again, earlier on I mentioned plugging in a USB flash drive like that. And of course it's telling me that whatever's on that drive is going to get wiped. I'll say that's fine. So, and I just need to authenticate here. Okay, this will take a long time, so I'll get back to you on this, but you can expect this process to could take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, we're back. The installer has been created, as you can see here by the dialog box. So it's asking, do we want to install it to this drive? And I'm going to say yes. Okay, and then the next thing is I'm going to say install to disk. Okay, and when we're looking at this, we want to install this information onto the drive itself, the internal drive. Let me go back again. Okay. This is where we were. Okay, just to clarify, it's showing the external USB that we put the installer on, and then it's showing the internal drive. And in this case, for this particular part of the installation, it's installing special information on the internal drive to allow this booting to occur. So I'm going to select the internal disk and then also select that EFI there. Okay, and then it's going to ask me to authenticate. Okay, so at this point we're ready to actually install the new software, and I'm going to show you that. I'm going to actually have to do that with my camera and stuff, because we have to start up the machine a certain way. So that's coming up next. Okay, so now we're looking at the front of the computer here, getting ready to actually do the final step, which is to install the software on this machine. You'll notice that the dialog box there is talking about rebooting and also mentioning something about holding down the option key. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to press return. Okay, I'm holding down the option key here. In a moment you're going to see the Startup Manager menu pop up. There you go. You're going to notice 3 items there. The one that's currently selected is the internal Mac hard drive, which is not the one we're going to use. The one on the right is actually the standard installer that would typically work if we were installing this on a machine that would support that software, but in this case, of course, that's not the case. So we're going to go back here. This is the OpenCore, the special installer. I'm going to press return, and now I just need to come over and select the installer, and now we just have to wait for it to boot up. Okay, now as you can see, we're at the installer menu, the main menu. So basically what I'm going to end up doing is coming down here and of course selecting to install Ventura. Okay, and let's continue. Okay, agree to the terms, agree again to the terms, and then we're going to select here, you know, we have the installer here on the left, I'm sorry, on the right, and we're going to select the Macintosh HD. That's the one that we want to install to, and now we just click continue. Okay, and at this point it's going to go ahead and install it on the machine. I'll be back so we can finish up and you can actually see that the software is now fully installed. Okay, we're back, and it's finally done. It got completely installed. There were no issues or problems. It does take a bit of time to install, much like any of the other installers. It probably took about 35 or 40 minutes. But I'm showing a couple screens here. I'm showing you know, the About This Mac that you can see here that it's now running Ventura. And I also just popped up the Safari About menu, which is showing 16.6. I believe the current version, is, at least of this video, is 17. The last version supported on High Sierra was like version 13.2 or something like that. So there you have it. It's you know, it's a great solution, especially if you have older hardware and you still want to keep it running. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'm looking forward to doing some more.